All In Sports Network. We love sports.
Home to the cradle of basketball and the rise of football and the greatest spectacle in racing. This is All Indiana Sports presented by the Unstable Blues.
Welcome back in. The Fever welcome back Caitlin Clark by entering into an in-game three-point contest as the Fever handed the defending champion, the New York Liberty, their first loss of the season. Let's discuss as we go all in.
That's correct. I'm Kevin. This is my wife, Alexis, and we are happy to present All Indiana Sports as part of the All In Sports and Rogue Media Sports Networks.
Before we get to into the game, the Fever broke the news that they would be releasing Aari McDonald to make way for the return of Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark. What are your thoughts on that decision?
Well, you've been a proponent of her as well as I have. You've been a strong advocate. I think that it's a struggle because there's a similar play style to who they kept and then who they Colson is a lot different.
Yeah.
But there's a certain twitch, there's a certain energy that Aari brought. Not to mention that she, her point totals were more than Colson in those games where they were both playing.
Yeah.
And Aari coming off the bench, Colson starting. So, but Colson's doing herself a favor because she had double figures this first game.
Yeah.
So
I was super impressed by that.
Yeah.
I was super impressed by that.
She responded well, and there's this, I think. It was mentioned that Colson has like a more of a veteran presence, which is all about what the Fever are wanting and needing for this season in particular.
Yeah. So I think I had realized that's kind of like what they were doing was trying to give wisdom within a team is really what they're doing. And I had kind of noticed that, but it really kind of solidified whenever I saw Sydney out there today. And, I think that the presence, it's the lock. I think she's a locker room presence is really what it is.
Yeah.
And any athlete knows that your vision and in-game mentality starts in that locker room. And when you have somebody that is able to lead that locker room in a healthy way, and great leadership, then I think that's equally as important as what they can do on the court, in my opinion. So
makes sense. Well, the Fever scored 102 points, the most allowed by the Liberty this season.
They went from 17 for 35 from three, with 6 players with at least one from downtown, while Caitlin tied her personal single game record with 7 made threes.
Yes, at one point in the first quarter, Caitlin made 3 3-pointers on consecutive possessions, 9 points within like 38 seconds, I believe. Each were 27 feet or deeper, and 2 were more than 30 feet.
I mean, but can we talk about the Michael Jordan tongue out? Like, that was amazing. That was probably my favorite thing of the whole game, just to see her come back with such gusto and vengeance, kind of. I mean, like, she was calling.
Yeah.
She was calling for the ball. She was like, I'm hot right now. Like, I'm ready. And I think that we haven't seen that from her for a little bit.
She's been gone, but even before.
Yes. Before that, it was, it's been kind of like a little bit of a struggle to get that going. And I think that that rest and that reflection on who she is as a player and being able to sit on the bench and have a completely different point of view.
Right. This is the first time she has ever watched a game in its entirety from the bench.
Yes.
And she got to watch 5 in a row.
Yes. So that's why I say I love to see her like coaching and having the papers in her hand. She's making notes. It's a completely different perspective that you have as a, she's watched a lot of games from the stadium. She's been to a lot of different games. She's done all of that. She's been a spectator to someone else's game.
Yeah.
But to be a spectator for your own team, and to see how your team works without you there, what their strengths are, like natural strengths. You kind of see that a little bit more, but so she's able to have a completely different perspective for her team and how she can better grow the team. Like, I think it's brilliant that they had this time. It ended up being a blessing in disguise, I think, for the Fever to have her be able to sit down. I think she's going to be coming back stronger.
Yeah. And then what did that, like, what does that do then for the entire team? What do we see for the entire team because she was the back and able to do that?
I was so impressed with, first of all, she and Kelsey Mitchell, like, just right away started clicking. And that was so fun to watch again. Like, we kind of saw that really well at the end of last year. And I hadn't seen that yet either. You know, with new people coming onto a team, it really changes your dynamic from what you had at the end of the last season that you had, where they were kind of really starting to gel and do well together and figure things out. You know, adding a new roster and things like that is hard. So to see her be able to click with those different players with her passing, her passing was insane too. Like, just, you know, that thread. And I was really impressed with that.
The like 3/4 length of the floor to Aaliyah Boston.
To Aaliyah Boston right there. But and speaking of Aaliyah Boston, she had a really smart, you know, few passes. She is an incredible passer. And I don't think people say that enough about her, is how good of a passer she is. I did hear the lady speaking today that they were talking about, you know, she's your second best passer on the team, you know, Aaliyah Boston. And of course the announcer said,
Who's the first?
And she said, as she said this one, she
drained a three
launches.
Caitlin Clark.
Oh yeah. I was like,
that was the one.
How do you get that perfect?
That was the
timing,
one
like,
that was
live?
Right in Stewie's face, that they had a little fun interaction. And they had
like a banter back and forth with each other. That was so fun. Like, that's what basketball is. That's what sports are.
Friendly competition.
Friendly competition. You can get, you know, nasty and dirty with people, but like, and still have that like love and that banter, and like she's young compared to Stewie. So that was really fun for her to be like,
and for, you know, for Breanna Stewart to have the understanding that, like, this is not a threat. No. This is a welcome competition and is raising the level of the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say
overall.
That's what I was gonna say.
And the attention to the game.
Yes,
which is incredible.
It's bigger than just Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
It's bigger than just that banter back and forth with them. Like, this is a hey, like there's no reason to be acting this way as mature women. And mature adults, period. Like, doesn't matter man, woman, but like mature adults, like we gotta
have some fun.
Cut it out and have some fun.
It's a game.
Yeah.
Speaking of Aaliyah Boston, she had a double-double with 10 points, 11 rebounds, along with 5 assists. The Fever at one point in the third quarter, after all of the first quarter, they went on a 25-3 run. After giving up an 11-0 run to start the quarter, but their run all started with a 17-0 burst after that. So a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, we always say that.
Basketball is a game of runs.
It is.
Get your wipes ready.
Oh, that's disgusting.
And it's what we say.
No, it's not what we say.
Well, you're welcome. The Fever had also 5 players in double figures, including Sydney Colson, going for 10 points and 6 assists and 2 for 3 from distance.
Yeah. Okay, but
I brought that up because I know we talked about
Lexi Hall
and the distance and the threes.
Yeah. I mean, like, it was so fun to see. They're like, you know, Caitlin just started draining them, and that was amazing to watch her to do that. But like, and then and then Kelsey was like, oh no, okay, I can do this too.
Yep.
And we haven't seen that from Kelsey. Just like, It was so fun to see her come alive. And then
And Sydney.
well, hold on.
Yep.
Then Lexi Hall
Yep.
came in right behind Kelsey, and she was like, "Oh, honey, like I think you guys forgot what I can do."
Yep.
And so like she just started draining him. Like, yeah. And Sophie's like, "Hey guys, wait for me. Watch me. I'm ready. I'm in on this."
Yep.
So and she comes up and she just like,
Yep.
and that was so fun to see just everybody like, and the defense started
Yep.
getting like really in there and tight, and everybody was playing well. It was
Yep.
fun to watch. A
Yeah.
lot of fun to watch.
Once Damaris Dantes hit a
Yes.
3 in the
Yeah.
fourth quarter, I was like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, everybody's getting in
Yes,
on the act.
yes.
Everybody's shooting
Yes.
threes now. Let's go.
But like, you have to realize that when you're playing in that type of, within that type of level of skill, like that's what's expected. Like Caitlin's like, no, let's go. She's expectant of her players to play big.
Yeah.
Like that's what she does. She instills, inspires. Like it is inspiring to be able to play with somebody like that.
Yeah.
So I thought about that too. I was like, I think Caitlin Clark is one of the best athletes we have seen come across, like, period. Not just basketball, but
All sport.
all
right.
sports.
All right.
I
Even-
think that
Even Messi.
yeah,
Ronaldo.
yes, yeah, I do. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, I do.
Ooh.
I do.
Coming from
because-
your soccer background.
yes,
All
because
right.
I think what she's doing is bigger than what they could do.
She does,
They
from a basketball perspective, she does have a Michael Jordan
for a
quality
girl,
for
for
as
a
far-
woman, yeah,
as far as raising the
absolutely.
level of competition and game
Yes.
and bringing eyeballs.
yes
to the sport.
Yes, and
As
she's
far
not-
as the
and
sport
she's-
you were familiar with, maybe David Beckham.
yeah, oh yeah.
When David Beckham
mean,
especially came to the MLS,
yeah,
kind of
he
the
changed
eyeballs,
that
the
for him.
changing, and
yeah, he did it on purpose. He wanted to grow the sport. That's
Yeah.
why these people are doing it. It's bigger than them. They want to grow a sport. They want to see it succeed. And the MLS would not be where it is today without David Beckham.
Yeah.
The same for Caitlin Clark. The WNBA would not be who it is,
Yeah.
where it is
right.
this year. I mean, like how fast
Right.
this has happened.
Yep.
Like it's
You-
crazy.
You and I'm sure there be people out there that say, well, Angel Reese came out the exact same year, and then that was followed by Paige Beckers this year, right?
Yeah. But I mean, like, and I
That
will.
There has to be a catalyst. There has
Yeah,
to be.
I think there is. We've seen some really incredible players, but I think that we are in the presence of some really up and coming women
Yeah.
that are playing, and all those ladies that you just mentioned, including Angel Reese, like have an opportunity to do something big. And if everybody would be like, who cares who's doing it? Who cares if it's Caitlin? Who cares if it's Paige? Who cares who it is?
Just play good basketball and
Play
you'll
good
get the attention.
basketball, and you'll get the attention. But let's band together. Like I think, like, hey, let's band together and do something big with this. And they have an opportunity to do this because we haven't seen this level of women athletes coming up in a professional sport like this.
Yeah.
It's been really incredible to watch.
Yep. And, their season is just getting going right at the end of the NBA.
Yeah.
And the only competition they've got over summer is MLS
Yep.
and baseball.
Yeah.
So it's a good opportunity. Good opportunity.
Yeah.
Getting back to the game on defense, the Fever defensive end, they held New York to only 20% from three.
Yeah.
And I talked about this they were doing a good job closing down the driving lanes, especially the one on
Yeah.
Liberty you got to watch out for is
I was-
Natasha Cloud.
I was a little.
Really speedy player.
I think they did a good job of that. Yeah, but I was a little disappointed on how quickly they didn't come to that faster.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what was fourth quarter, end of the fourth quarter when we were seeing that happen?
Yeah.
And I felt like they
Natasha Cloud never got going though, because Natasha Cloud, that's her
were
game
right.
is to
I know
drive.
they
and
did.
They shut
just
that
her
down.
Yeah,
UNESCO got in there a few times.
I heard her name a lot in the second half.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it as much in the first half. But
I mean,
heard
she
it
had
more
4
often.
threes by herself. She
Yeah.
actually, I believe, scored more. I would have to look at the official box score here. Hold on. I think she scored more than Caitlin, if I'm correct. 34 for UNESCO. Yep, 32 for Clark. So she ended up with more points than Caitlin Clark.
They just weren't as flashy.
Weren't as flashy,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have to be flashy.
No.
But it's all about
No,
getting
yeah.
the game.
Well, and
Yeah.
I mean, but if you also think back, there's some really good just buckets that went in today. They did a really good job up around the rim and in the paint. Just really making sure that they were handling that well. I think that they were a little sloppy. But it was fun to see. It was like they're getting a groove back, and that's what I'm saying. It may not have been pretty, it may not have been perfect. They're trying to figure that out. They're playing a tough team today too.
Yeah. Yep.
Like we can't discount
Undefeated defending champion.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
it's
Like
all there.
that was a
Yep.
big win today, and it was a fun win. So I hope that like they celebrate that win and take it not just as, oh well, the Liberty didn't play well today. No, I don't know that was necessarily the case. I think they played well. I just think we played better.
Yeah.
I think it was a true win.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
So what are some improvements then going forward from this game that you can identify? Anything?
I think that what I was just talking about with a little bit of the sloppiness in the paint area, just trying to, I think there was maybe some communication errors, and that's just from being gone, 5 games. Your leader on the court being gone for 5 games and then coming back in and trying to start that gelling again. I wasn't impressed with Natasha Howard necessarily.
It's a tough call. She's inconsistent.
I know. That's what I was just getting ready to say. I'd love to see her to be more consistently present, in a good way.
Yep. Whether it's rebounds, whether it's
because they need her. I think she has great potential. I really love that she's on the team.
She's now a veteran, right? Like it's not,
but it doesn't matter.
My struggle is she doesn't seem to be as in on the team to be a starter. I could see that.
So who would you put there?
I could see when DeWanna Bonner gets back that they make that switch because Natasha has had those very ups and downs. Well, I mean, she went for 20-something one time, but most of the time she's been in single digits, and she's missed some free throws that are key in some places and things. So
but you know what? Here's the thing: I don't know that DeWanna Bonner cares about being a starter.
I know,
and I know that we've talked about this, and I'll reiterate it. This team, it's not about who starts.
Yeah, I get it.
Like I see that value in in a starting position, and that that's important. I get it, but I don't know that's the way the Fever plays. It doesn't matter. It really matters, because you, as a coach in basketball, you kind of storyboard your game.
Yeah,
and you lay out when your rotations are going to happen and what's going to happen based on film that you've been watching, based on that team.
Yeah.
They spend hours and hours and hours doing this. And so you have this rotation of who's coming in when and where. So it may not matter who's starting, because if you look at,
you're thinking that Bonner is a bigger spark off the bench than it would be.
Yeah. And I think she is liking that role. I think she's she's a veteran, and she's like, I started. I don't need it, and it's fine. I think she's totally comfortable playing in this role. I don't see her agitated by it. I feel like she's a great presence on the court. She's just calm demeanor, and she's easygoing. So it's been fun to watch. So I don't know that Natasha, that starting position really matters. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents.
Live ball turnovers are a problem. They gave up 10 steals, so that is going to lead to transition and fast break points. Defensive rebounding still a problem to prevent those second chance opportunities.
How many times was I like, rebound? You have to be on that fundamental rebounding.
Yeah, it turns out it was actually about the same, but it always seems to happen at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Right? That is the timing of those can matter as well. And then also still a struggle, free throw totals and percentage.
Caitlin was off too.
They were only 11 for 16 for the game. Yeah. Caitlin missed 2 in a row at one point. So 68%, and you're only getting to the line 16 times when your opponent is getting there more than 20, upwards of close to 30. Understand that some of those came late in the game, and there may have been some questionable officiating late in the game. Gainbridge Fieldhouse is used to questionable officiating as of late. But speaking of which, that is all the time. Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Do the Pacers have any more surprises in store? Then we'll be back on Tuesday as the Fever face the Connecticut Sun for the second time this season.
This is Alexis.
And this is Kevin.
Reminding you to stay all Indiana.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.